Do you guys are gonna edit it?
Yeah, we're gonna edit it down
on
and
iMovie or
Yeah,
AutoCAD or
something.
Adobe or whatever.
Probably iMovie.
iMovie.
Because that's what we have on the iPad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just basically, this is our broadcast studio, all right? We have an operation in Auburn as well that basically handles a lot of the technical capabilities in our transmission. But basically, the reporters are mostly out of Portland. The broadcast comes out of Portland, except when you have people doing live shots or things like that. So, right up here, got some edit suites where people can do tape-to-tape editing and computer editing. Jared's working on something right now, and I'll be doing some editing in a little bit. We can come over to the studio here. All the lights are off right now. Hey, David, do you mind turning the set lights on for a second? So right here you've got the set. Steve Tracy's main anchors tonight. This is right here. The iPad's out. Studio cameras, green screen over there for weather broadcasts. Matt's in the weather center right now working on some stuff. You can see him over there. I would sit right here. So when I'm doing my broadcast, I'll look at the monitors here if I'm calling highlights. That's basically how that works. And they're kind of in here in this operation. We have different sets. There's a set over there, but the lights are off. There's people over there. There's a HD monitor right there that people will stand next to give just a different look. You're just giving a different look. So we'll go. Here, they're hard at work, I think.
Hardly working.
All around here.
They're working.
Go back there. My area here, I can say Matt's working on some weather stuff. Matt, I'm gonna stop by to say hi. Sure. This fellow's from Freeport High School, giving them a little tour. They're doing a project on sportscasting. But
okay.
This is where the weather center is, and Matt actually, on Facebook, you're not surfing the web. He's actually doing work. Unlike some of our other staff around the corner.
Yeah, I've done my Facebook already. What are your names?
I'm Mark Donald.
Mark, nice to meet you.
And I'm Adam Brobst.
Adam, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Falmouth High, you said?
Freeport.
Freeport High.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
Well, you're learning from the best here.
Yeah.
We were hoping to.
Have a good day. You too.
So then this is where my operation is right here. It's a mess right now, but working on a few things. So right now, basically when I come into work, like one of the first things that I do is there's this program called ENPS, which is basically this is how the broadcasts are arranged. All right. So if you look in this column right here down the middle,
Yep.
it says that we have weather first, and then a feature package, and then a tease. You guys know what a tease is? Basically, a tease is just when something comes up on the screen or a reporter talks and says something like, why traffic was backed up on 295 for more than 5 hours today. We'll tell you coming up. Basically, it's teasing you to stay after the commercial to come back.
Okay.
So then they haven't put anything in the show yet because it's too early in the day. They're probably doing their planning meeting right now. But so for me, there are a couple things. There's a Pirates news conference today that I'm going to do, that I'm going to cover. All right. So I'm going to put that story in there because all this interconnects to the teleprompters. You guys know what teleprompters are?
Yep. Yep.
So I'm gonna have that in there, but I'm gonna actually take this out of here. I'm gonna work on another program, but we'll pretend that we'll remember that it's there. Okay, so what else do I have going on? They just named a Maine men's basketball coach, which is not that big a deal because we've known about it for a few days. But it is interesting. They just released some of his contract details.
Okay.
So I'm going to put something in there about Bob Walsh, the new head coach. And what I write in here, OTS is short for over the shoulder.
Okay.
So like if you see, you want to grab me that remote control right there? And over the shoulder is just a graphic that appears on screen When an anchor is talking, basically it's like a face that could be next to them. We'll see if SportsCenter has one here in a second, and I can show you. But and then VO, that right there is a VO.
Just like that little like box at the bottom.
No.
Oh no.
It's just the type of. You can hear the anchor talking over video, like the video is up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, voice over. So basically, she's using her voice over the video. I'm also going to include what's called a package, which is when I track my voice to the story, and then I'll introduce it saying, Lindsey Moore. Here we go. Want to know how tough Lindsey Moore is? The St. Joe senior softball player has played in all 36 games this year with a torn ACL. There have been risks, but as we find out, the rewards have been worth it. And then I stop talking, and then they'll roll a tape which has my voice on it, which I'll record when I'm doing the editing here.
Oh, okay.
So that's a package. What else do I have today? I've got Sea Dogs are playing in Reading, and I'm not sure. I might get highlights, so I'm going to put that at the bottom of the show. And then I might want to try and do a Bruins recap from last night. So I'm just so those are my story ideas. As the days goes on, there might be breaking news, there may be different things that will change that, make me decide, that I need to do, I need to add something out or take something out or something like that. But I need to go find some video of this girl right here that I'm doing the story on.
Okay.
So why don't you guys come with me and we're going to do some busy work for a few minutes.
Sounds like a plan.
And you guys can, if you have questions, this would be a great time to ask while I'm doing this stuff.
So, we were kind of wondering how you kind of got into sports broadcasting once you were out of college. Like, how did your career
I'll tell
start?
you. Why don't we come in here and
Ooh, she's tight.
let's see. Let me grab my tapes here first, and then maybe we'll go into an edit suite that might be just a touch bigger.
Okay.
It's gonna take a second. Basically, I can start telling you. I knew when I was growing up that I wanted to go into sportscasting. I grew up in Yarmouth.
Okay.
Liked playing sports. Knew that I wasn't going to be in the NBA. Knew I wasn't going to get into Major League Baseball with my 58-mile-an-hour fastball. So basically, I did research for schools that had journalism programs. Ithaca was one of the schools. I applied to Ithaca, Syracuse. Decided that I got into both of them, but decided that Ithaca was better suited for me. Went to Ithaca, and let's see what I got there. Did all the programs, did all the stuff there, and basically internships are like a huge thing. Knowing people. I did an internship at a TV station in Ithaca, and they actually created a job for me. So I was lucky when I was in college still. I was working 20 hours a week at that TV station, doing a little bit of anchoring, but mostly reporting and shooting video. And that was a great break for me. So that's the hardest part about this job. They say there are more people that graduate each year with that want to go into TV than there are actual TV jobs already.
Yeah.
So that tells you, so have a backup plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely do, yeah.
And if you go into the journalism program, they kind of force you to. Because I was hey, Georgeson.
Hey, dude. Is this the real world?
This is the real world, yes. I would take some picture of them.
No, we're running away.
No, get out of here. So basically, what was I going to say? So yeah, they kind of force you to have a backup plan. They'll make you have a minor, which mine was history. So if I didn't get into this, I would have been a history teacher probably.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of like a little bit of how I ended up getting into this, I guess. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Let's see, January.
So what are you looking for right here? Just
Yeah, I'm looking for some video of this girl, a young woman who plays basketball at St. Joe's, and I know that basically there's a function on that program I just showed you, ENPS, where you can do a search for a name and come up with video for something. but we've determined that she never actually appeared in any highlights that we've run. But the producer that works with me said that he knows that he put a highlight of her at the end of a story, but it never made it to air. So that's what I'm looking for. So it's kind of a needle in a haystack, to tell you the truth.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Do you have like interns catalog all this, or is this?
No, this is what we do.
Ooh,
Every time you do a story, you just write on the tape that you did the story, so you can cross-reference it.
gotcha.
But it still can be painstakingly difficult to find some things. Okay, so we didn't run any. That's possible. Usually all my tapes are in order, so I don't have to spend so much time jumping around. Well, that's a pretty cool program you guys have going on there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
To get out and do that stuff.
yeah, and I mean it's nice because like in the last couple weeks we were like just dying. Oh yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's like really nice because I don't know, we just get a lot of freedom to choose what we want to be passionate about
Yeah.
in the last few months of school.
That's right.
Actually, the last month. But,
Yeah. And it gives us an outlet rather than just, kind of waiting around our senior year. Just,
Yeah, exactly. Watching the clock.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Let's see. 7. Check that out. Yeah, ask away if you have any questions. That's pretty neat. You're going to go to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we were going to try and bring our little handy cam down there and just kind of go around, record, talk about basketball history and whatnot.
You might want to check in with their media director to see if you're allowed to take video while you're there. I mean, you probably are because, geez, I mean, everybody's got video on their phones now. But sometimes they're
weird about it.
Yeah, they want to preserve the experience, so they don't want to let other people show it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But usually if you it's easy enough to find people's information online these days. But if you let them know you're going and what your purpose is, they might even give you a special tour or something special.
Yeah. Yeah, we were hoping to maybe like kind of go at a time and kind of check their schedule to see if there was any like special events happening.
Oh yeah, nice.
Because the last time I went, we like saw the Dream Team get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
No way, you were there for that?
Yeah, I didn't get to go into like the little room that they do it in, but
Yeah.
I was like sitting in the gift shop and Scottie Pippen's wife was sitting there with her kid, and they were just kind of watching, and I didn't realize who she was, and so we were like playing with her kid, and she's like, "Oh, I'm Scottie Pippen's wife," and we're like, "What? This is crazy."
Oh, that's funny. And then you said, "You need a babysitter?"
Yeah, exactly.
My minimum fee is $100 million.
Yeah, yeah. So, when do you do any like live
Reports?
reports at this point, or?
Oh, tons, yeah. Yeah, I was down at the Bruins on Thursday. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, where you guys have a focus on the NBA. The NBA is really tough because the times, like I've covered the World Series, the Super Bowl, and I've had a lot, the Stanley Cup Finals, but I never covered the NBA Finals when the Celtics were in there because the NBA is just really, really tough to get media passes for.
Yeah.
Unless you cover the team on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't cover the team on a regular basis. We do more local stuff, Maine-based sports.
Yeah, we we're really like also interested in like the analytics that go into it, and so like we want to like break down the game and get into the nitty gritty stuff.
Okay.
Because when we watch SportsCenter or when we watch other people talk about sports, we kind of just are like, oh, like that's cool, like that they're talking about these things, but we don't really know where their information really comes from.
Okay.
And so we're interested in like being able to like find out why certain teams played a certain way and stuff like that. And
So like you talking about like the advanced metrics, like the
yeah,
kind of that stuff.
Yeah, that's neat. All that stuff that's kind of coming out these days. You know, I think the person to talk to would be. See if you guys can talk to someone with the Celtic staff. You know.
Yeah, that would be.
How they use that, or even have you tried the Red Claws? Maybe you could do an interview with maybe one of their coaches over the phone or something, because their coach actually is away. He's in. He coaches the. What's it called? The. I can't remember what it is. If it's the Czech national team or something.
Really?
But since you have the Red Claws in town, it might be worth sending him an email to say. Your plan you might not have any time for that, but if you really want to get some information on that, that might be a way to do it.
Yeah. And then it also like keeps a local kind of focus to it as well.
Yeah, no, we had originally got in contact with one of the ESPN.
Well, we were trying to.
Well, we were trying to. We were trying to get in touch with Jalen Rose and talk with him, and then we had also secured a kind of like interview / tour of an Albany studio that one of our friends' cousins works at.
Okay.
That kind of fell through, and then we were just so thankful that we got to talk with you today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
So, but yeah, we'll definitely talk with the Red Claws.
That might be a good lead to see. Let's see if she shows up in these highlights.
Who sends you guys like these highlights? Is just like directly from the school, or
we go out and we have to like the local highlights. We go out and get ourselves. We
Gotcha.
take a camera out. Yep, that's a good question. We go take a camera and get the video and pictures ourselves. When it comes to like national highlights, we can literally record the broadcast ourselves off of the TV. And take the highlights that we want from that game.
That's pretty cool.
Or we can wait and they come down on a server, a video file server. From either we subscribe to 2 services. We have ABC, which we're an ABC company or affiliate, so we can wait and get ABC's stuff, or we can CNN we subscribe to as well. So between the two, we get somebody's video.
And so when you said you covered the World Series and other big things, when you're covering those, do you get to like go and like interview players and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty
Right on the field, doing it all.
Who's like the most important person you've interviewed?
Oh.
Or I mean,
who are your favorite?
Yeah, I don't know who my favorite is. Like, my favorite would probably be someone who's pretty obscure. Like, Tom Brady's, when you're down covering the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much I've interviewed most of those types, you name it. If they're a... It's Bowden Hockey. But at the same time, like for me personally, I almost enjoy doing stories about local people, more than doing stories on like the Patriot, because when you're talking to pro athletes, I mean they're so guarded and protected, and they
exactly.
don't really tell you that much.
Yeah, they're
a lot of
pro
times.
athletes.
Yeah.
Do you guys play any sports? Have you played any sports?
Yeah, I used to play basketball, but I run all 3 seasons now, so
Oh, you do?
cross
Oh,
country, indoor track, and outdoor track.
Nice.
And I play football.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yep.
good.
And I swim.
So
And
good.
I used to play lacrosse, and then it kind of got expensive, so I started playing ultimate frisbee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is fun. It's a nice way to kind of end my senior year. Just a little easy thing to do. But
How did you like playing football at Freeport?
I mean, I loved playing football.
Yeah.
Period. And we didn't always have the best record, but it was still a lot of fun.
Cool. Good.
Yeah. I mean.
Oh, there she is. Awesome.
She played the whole season with a torn ACL.
The whole softball season.
Whole softball.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She did it playing basketball.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much you guys know about what your ACL does.
Doesn't it basically kind of just make your knee bend and work?
Yeah. I tore mine playing basketball, and back before they had the surgery to correct it.
Yeah.
I mean, basically people would have what they call a trick knee. You'd walk it like your knee would just kind of give out.
Yeah.
So she can run in a straight line. It's cutting and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
she has no ability.
Yeah, my friend Ellie Benson, she skis and she's blown both ACLs on her knees out. I think 3 times,
Jeez.
2 left and 1 right.
Yeah, I would imagine skiing would be one of the worst.
Yeah.
Skiing and basketball and soccer. And they say for women, it's you're more at risk just because of the physiology of your hips, kind of
Yeah.
putting pressure on your knees.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
so what I'm doing right now is I'm converting this tape into this editing system here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then it just comes up. Yeah. Okay.
oh, I stopped it.
How long did it take you to figure out how all this stuff works?
Oh, well, it's one of those things where you learn one thing at a time.
Yeah.
So you learn one thing at a time, and eventually you know it all. But it's not like you walk in and you have to learn everything the first day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are different things that you learn as you go along.
Because I mean, when I was visiting schools and they showed us the different broadcasting equipment and stuff, and I was looking at it, just wow.
Yeah. Well, they teach you how to, you learn one thing at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And one cool thing about Ithaca is you don't spend a lot of time in the classroom learning technical stuff.
That'll be.
They basically tell you to go learn it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So. Alright. So I got my story here. So basically I interviewed this girl.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So right now what I'm doing is I'm going through and I'm listening to the interview that I did with her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm going through her interview and trying to find different quotes of hers that I might want to use in the story. So that's one right there. So hang on a second. I'm gonna have to throw these headphones on.
Alright, that's fun.
So basically, then I just transcribe it when I'm transcribing. So I want to find. Basically, she got hurt right before her team went to the NCAA's in basketball, and now her softball team's going to the NCAA's. So I asked her a couple different ways, like, isn't it neat that you get a second chance to go to the NCAA's at least, But so now I'm listening to her answers.
And the different boxes on the other computer, like
On this.
no, on like that one.
Yep.
Like is like one like quotes, one like
Yeah,
the story.
Yeah. This is kind of what I'm. This is my kind of my work pad, and this is more of my final product that I'm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So now I need to listen to these quotes here.
It was obviously like really heartbreaking that I couldn't be in that because obviously we hadn't done it for the past 3 years. And I don't know. It was just, I was glad that they did it, you know, and I was just as much a part of it because I was one of those cheering ones. So,
So can you kind of speak to how the role of technology has kind of
Yeah.
evolved and how it has become easier or harder to kind of
Definitely. Hang on one
harness?
second. Let me just write this one down.
I'm definitely happy that I was able to get a brace that strengthened my knee to be able to play.
Yeah, so basically, I'm trying to do the story on this guy who ran. Basically, have you ever heard about Roger Bannister? Have you ever heard of him?
His name sounds familiar.
He's the first guy to break 4 minutes in the mile running,
Okay.
and like literally the mile was like people thought that if you were to break a mile running, your heart would explode. It was such an achievement, and he did it. And there's a guy who lives in Bath who was in the race with him when he did it,
That's
and like the
amazing.
anniversary of it is 60 years ago. And I'm trying to do a story on him, but he fell down, and he's like, "Oh, I can't do a story. I got a cut on my face." And I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." You know, he's like, so he just wrote me back saying, you know, my cut should be better next week or something. Whatever. Yeah, technology. So like everything has changed, especially in this business, because used to be everything, getting it on the air, getting it on the news, and like a lot of times TV was breaking stories because newspapers came out the next day. So you
Yeah.
had, you know, you had more shows, so you could get the information out there. But the internet has changed all that. So like it's multi-platform now. We will go out and, you know, I might post this story online before it airs on TV.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, you know, that's what it's all about, is getting it out there, getting it on there fast. Twitter is really big with sports. Like, you know, I just was tweeting this, you know, when you guys were walking in about the new contract for the basketball coach because I found out what it was, and I'm firing that out there. So yeah, it's changed things, and in some ways it makes it easier. In some ways, you just have more to do. You know, I
Yeah.
didn't have to do the web stuff 5 years ago, 6
Yeah.
years, 10 years ago, whatever, you know. But now I do, so it's just another job. Now, some aspects of my job have gotten easier because it sometimes can be easier to edit like this, but then sometimes it's just more. So
Yeah.
so it's really changed.
So I run track, and so breaking 4 is crazy. Like that's just like I run like a 5 minute.
Yeah.
So like that drop to like I don't know, that minute is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he ran in the race.
Yeah, he ran in the race with him. Yeah.
So what do you know what place he was in?
I can't
after
remember.
him?
I haven't read too much of the story of what happened. So I have, you know, I kind of like sometimes to just go and talk to people and then find
Yeah.
out about it rather than know. I'll do a little bit of research, but not a ton.
Yeah.
You know what a rabbit is?
Yeah.
A rabbit is basically they send someone when someone's trying to break a record, they'll send someone out to try and like set the pace fast, so the guy, you know, is
Knows
keeping
to
up with
keep it.
So I wonder if this guy was one of the rabbits. You know,
Yeah.
it'll be curious to ask him that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about running. I'm not really a runner.
Yeah.
But let me think. Yeah, I got to jump into editing this guy. So if you guys have any other questions, I can answer them. And
I've got 2 more.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How do you like set up interviews? Is it usually, are you just like just go cold call or?
Yeah, you just find out like this story. I mean, you just are always gathering information. You know, this story. I remember when I did a story on the team going to the NCAA tournament. The team kept talking about, oh, we don't have Lindsay anymore. We don't have Lindsay anymore. And then softball season came around, and you know, I saw that she was playing softball, or my coworker said that too. He's like, you know, she's playing softball, but she has a torn ACL. I'm like, well, that's kind of interesting. But I didn't have a chance to do a story on it. You know, you have other things come up. But then they made the tournament So I was like, okay, that would be a nice tie-in. You could say, oh, they're going to the tournament, you know. So you're just looking for, you know, there are different factors in news judgment. You know, uniqueness, novelty, which is kind of the same thing. Impact, how many people does it impact? Timeliness, is it new? You know, is there something timely about it? So there, you know, those are the main news, main factors that help me determine what I think about what makes a news story. And it is unique. She's playing with 20.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
They're going to the tournament on Friday, so like that's, you know, so there are a lot of things that came together to put that story. But sometimes you'll get a tip like this guy that I email with here about breaking the 4-mile barrier. Like that came in from a tip. Someone in his church said, "Hey, do you know this guy? You know, has done this. You should check it out." You know. So then I call him. I'm like, "Hey, do you have his phone number?" Well, I got his phone number, but why don't you take his email? Because he, you know, so you just work that way. And you look at my inbox here, like, you know, this is the Bruins schedule this week, so I've got, you know, there are always different things, you know, people are emailing you, you know, here's a Bates College baseball story, you know, they're emailing you with ideas and information, you know, so you just kind of read up and go from there.
Okay. And I mean, this might not, you know, you've been doing this for a while now, so it might not, you know, be as relevant. But I was thinking about, like, if I ever want to do this as a career, you know, even when we're doing this, like, do you ever get nervous when you step up to the mic?
No, not really. I mean,
No?
it comes just like anything else, and I feel pretty comfortable in front of the camera and talking. And I have scripts, and even when I don't, when I'm ad-libbing, I have a plan. So, you know, when I first started, I wouldn't say I'd get nervous, but I just wasn't as polished. You know, I wasn't, you know, I felt comfortable, but I just either would talk too fast or, you know, different things would manifest themselves where I just wouldn't be as, I wouldn't be as composed. I simply wouldn't be as composed. I might feel composed, but looking back on it now, you know, it's just like anything you do. The more you do it, the better you're going to get.
Exactly,
Yeah.
okay.
You know, I mean, and this is something like when I went to Ithaca, like I didn't know, you know, I originally wanted to do like play-by-play and stuff like that, or this, and I didn't really know. It's just the opportunities in doing anchoring and reporting are just a little bit more prevalent than doing play-by-play. You know,
Gotcha.
if you want to do play-by-play, you might have to go to like, you know, somewhere in the middle of nowhere to do a minor league team, get paid nothing. You know, and that's another thing. Like, you don't get paid a ton to do this. You know, people think that you're on TV and you don't make, you know, unless you're like network or doing, you know,
Like
really high
ESPN,
level.
yeah.
Even the ESPN guys don't get paid a ton at the bottom when they start because basically they're there and the trade-off is, all right, you get to work for the ESPN brand to make yourself a name, and that's part of your pay almost.
Yeah, so it's almost kind of like being an athlete. You know, once you get good at it, then you get your payday.
Exactly, yeah. And you're right, you might be better at it when you're younger, and when you're older, you're past your prime, but you're still getting paid.
Yeah.
You thought you had one more?
No, I think Adam finished it off.
I mean, would you guys want to come back and see a broadcast or not?
I mean,
we actually do
yeah,
that?
that'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
That would be.
Trying to think, what's your schedule like?
The only things that kind of are conflicting are tomorrow I have an AP World History or AP Lit test, and then the following Thursday we have an AP World History test.
And I've
You want
got.
to come back on Friday?
Well, I have an AP test that morning.
On Friday morning?
On Friday
Well,
morning.
the broadcast is at 6 o'clock at night.
6 o'clock at night? Yeah, we could
Alright, we
definitely
can do
swing
that.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Why don't you guys plan to come back at be here before 6 on Friday.
Okay.
Now Friday, what we usually do is we usually run around and do high school baseball games. We'll go out and get a couple of videos of high school baseball games, and we'll come back and edit. So it's pretty crazy. But if you come around 6, you can probably sit in the studio and watch broadcast.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
But who called me today?
I did.
You did? Okay. Why don't you give me a call in the afternoon on Friday just to check, because who knows if they send me somewhere, you know, if they send me on location somewhere.
Actually, wait. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
I
you
just
have the
realized I
track
have a
meet.
track meet.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. Then we'll find some other time. Why don't we, work on?
I'll send you our schedules.
Yeah, we can send you
through
a.
email or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
that helps. Yeah.
All right. We'll figure something out.
All right.
All right.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah. Thank you for meeting with us.
Thank you very
no
much,
problem at all.
sir.
Hope you got some good stuff. And yeah, bring
Yeah,
the
man.